Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm here to review Love After Lockup. I believe this is episode 43, Can't Buy Me Love. And let me apologize. From the start, it seems I have a new neighbor living upstairs who loves to stomp around and make lots of noise. They've been here about a week, or at least that's when the noise started. Just to and fro, running and stomping to and fro. So if you hear some pounding, it's not construction, it's my new neighbor. I haven't called to complain to the front desk yet, you know, because I don't want to be that kind of person, but my patience is running thin. I mean, what are they doing up there? You know, playing Breako El Liso? And if you know where that is from, El Breako El Liso, leave it in the comments below. But anyway, let's get into this episode because we got to visit with most all of the couples, so it kind of made their segments not too long, which I kind of appreciate when it comes to reviewing and recapping. So let's start off with Anissa and Jeff. Now, Jeff has been at Anissa's now for about 2 weeks, and he has recently discovered the joys of Amazon Prime, and he's gone on a shopping spree whirlwind. You know, packages are just piling up on the porch. He just bought a new drone that he's tinkering around with. Anissa's somewhat annoyed because, you know, she is still having to go to work to bust her ass so he can, you know, live his best life on her dime. And not only that, but she says that he spent a lot of money playing online poker. She's annoyed, but not enough to really do anything about it because, you know, he's home all day. What else is he gonna do? Well, I don't know, there's a big yard. He could do some yard work. I mean, I'm sure he can find something. Well, maybe we shouldn't give him too much leeway. So anyway, he's tinkering around with his new drone, and Kyle moseys on over, you know, because he just lives but a few yards away. He notices all the packages on the porch, you know. He greets both Anissa and Jeff. Anissa offers to heat him up some leftovers. He says sure. She goes inside to do what she do, heat up the food, and Kyle just asks Jeff about his drone and how much did it cost, and you know, he sees a lot of packages, and how does Anissa feel about this? Is she stressed? Is this a financial strain on her? And you know, Jeff, as politely as he can, because we know Kyle is not his favorite person, tells him basically it's really not any of your business. And it's true. It's really not Kyle's business. And you know, Kyle tells him, well, I get it's not really my business and it's not really my place, but Anissa's my friend, and I know in the past she spent a lot of money on you only to have you ghost her and not show up, and I'm just concerned, you know, it could turn out that way again. Like, yes, you're here, but you could run through all her money and then take off. You know, I'm just looking out for my friend. And you know, Jeff tells him, like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, I'm here, I'm with her, she's gonna be my wife, I'm gonna be your husband, it's our business, pretty much mind your own. So Jeff just walks off to go play with his drone again. Kyle's just like, oh, you know, irritated. He goes inside, and Anissa's like, hey, what's going on? And he tells her, I'm getting into it, that guy out there. And she's worried, oh no, what's going on? And he tells her, this is where he's going to spill all the tea. You know, he can't keep it inside any longer, this secret that he has, you know. And so he tells Anissa, I'm concerned with all the money he's spending, but not just that. You know, he told me that he has this secret that he wants to tell you, and he hasn't told you yet. And I don't know why, because it's really not a big deal if you ask me, and it's true. This secret is not a big deal. But what Kyle doesn't know is it's not really a secret that Jeff is concerned about sharing. It's just a test to see whether or not Kyle's going to do exactly what he's doing right now and, you know, betray Jeff's trust and tell Anissa. And so Anissa's worried because she can't imagine what the secret is. And so she's like, okay, well, you're gonna tell me what it is. Like, what is it? And he tells her it's not a big deal. Like, supposedly, while he was in the halfway house, an ex-girlfriend reached out to him to let him know that he might have an 18-year-old son. But the son is grown. He don't even know the son. The son don't even really want to know him. So what's really the big deal, unless he's hiding something, unless there's more to it, unless, you know, the son is younger than 18, or, you know, whatever it could be, we don't know. But, you know, there's no reason for him not to have shared this with you. And Anissa agrees. Yeah, that's really not a big deal. 18, long time ago, didn't even know him then, so why wouldn't he tell me? Kyle's like, exactly, yes, why wouldn't he tell you? So Anissa doesn't really know what to do. She knows she needs a little time for this to settle in, to marinate, but she's asking Kyle, like, am I not supposed to know? Am I not supposed to say anything? He's like, well, he didn't want me to tell you, but I'm your friend. I'm gonna tell you. So do with it what you will. So we'll see what happens. Obviously next week, the way Jeff like runs, is gonna get into it with Kyle, the mess. So we will get to that next week. Something to look forward to. Let's move on to our next couple. Rachel and Doug. Not too much happened, but then there was kind of a moment they had. So it is day 37 of Doug's release. Remember, the longest stretch he's been out is 40 days, so he's kind of nearing that marking point. The episode opens with Rachel making breakfast for Doug and Dougie Jr. She's making eggs, bacon, and waffles, but she does not make enough bacon because those boys just like hoof it before she even has a chance to get like one strip of bacon. But Doug says that right now he's just focusing on staying out of prison, working at his job, building a better relationship with Dougie, and he wants to go and buy Rachel a proper like wedding ring. Remember, they got married in the prison. So his friend takes him to a local jewelry shop. He picks out, a nice enough ring. I think it was about $5,500. That's decent. He says, he's working now a 9 to 5, a very like hard manual labor job. So he has the money to do this and he's happy to do it. The friend is asking him, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure this is the right thing? I mean, they're already married, friend. I mean, it's done. But Doug tells the friend, reassures them, no, yeah, she's it for me. She's been there for me. She's been there for Dougie. She took him in. Like, yeah, like she deserves it. The friend in the confessional to the producer tells him, he hopes it works out for Rachel and Doug because Rachel is a good influence on Doug, but he's never known Doug to be a faithful boyfriend. He's never known Doug to be with just one woman. So we'll see. And Doug does mention that he's never been married before. Rachel is his first wife that he's ever had, but he's been engaged plenty of times. Although these engagements that happened while he was in prison weren't like for real engagements. They were sort of simple, what I like to call prison talk proposals, where the woman he was talking to at the time would ask him, so when you get out, you're gonna be my husband, and he would say, yeah, you're gonna be my wife, and then the relationship would die off, whatever. So it makes me wonder, was Rachel the only one that actually took the bait and like went down there and made him marry her? I mean, let her tell it. He really pressed the issue of them getting married and insisted, oh no, you're gonna be my wife. I mean, but maybe he said that to everybody and she actually went down there and did it. And this is where we find her. Like, that's crazy, okay? And he just went through with it. I mean, she's a catch, no doubt. So he buys the ring. Meanwhile, Rachel mentions that she can't stop thinking about the conversation she had with Doug's sister, Crystal, the one who was telling her that he's going to cheat, he's a liar, he can't be faithful, he's going to go back to prison. Like I said, was the sister lying? I don't think so. So, I mean, I don't like to give away spoilers, but I mean, if you know what's going on in real life, the sister wasn't lying. So, all of that keeps playing in Rachel's head, but she just, she wants to give him the benefit of the doubt and just be hopeful that, it won't turn out that way. Okay, so anyway, it kind of sucks, watching these shows when like in real life what's going on. It spoils it, but I mean, anyway, I won't get into that. So it's the day of the proposal, I don't know. I think he did mention that he would like to give Rachel like a better wedding, that she deserves that, but he didn't really get into that. He just wants to give her at least like a nice ring. So he has her drive them out to this sort of like landing by sort of like a lake area, grassy knoll. But she's just like annoying the whole way. Where are we going? Where are you taking me? They get to like the park. Like, what are we gonna, are you taking me to the bathroom? Are we gonna do it in the bathroom? Like, shut up, because he's telling her like, be quiet, it's fine, just wait, you're gonna see, you're gonna like it, just zip it, Rachel, like you're ruining the moment, you're killing it. Because then when they get to the little landing area, he gets on his knee and she's just, what are you doing? Why are you on your knee? Are you like trying to get to my eye level? Like, if I were Doug, I'd be like, forget it, let's go home. It's not even fun, like you're killing all the fun, So he pulls out the ring and he's cheeky. She won't even let him get through his speech. He tells like, I love you too. It's like, quiet, Rachel, okay? Just let him get through it. tells her, I love you too. You know, thank you for being there. Thank you for supporting me, loving me. I just want to know if you'll marry me. And I mean, they're already married, but she says yes. You know, she puts on the ring, they hug, he like picks her up, they twirl around. And she says that this is a sign that Doug is really serious about her, about the relationship, because he didn't have to do this. He didn't have to buy a ring. He didn't have to bring her out here. You know, it's just a good sign that they're gonna work out. You know, they get in the car to leave, and I don't know if he's checking like social media or somebody text messaged him, but he starts laughing, and she's driving, and she asks him and tries to like sneak a peek, like, oh, what are you laughing at? And he actually looks at her and says like, nothing. Mind your business, you nosy bastard. He called her a nosy bastard, and not like in a sweet and to me, it wasn't sweet. It wasn't endearing. I mean, I get that he's sort of doctrinated in such a way, being in prison, like the way you talk to people and address them. But I just like, excuse me, like, first of all, what are you hiding? And I mean, like I said, I'm sure you all know where they are. I'm not trying to spoil it, but they're not together anymore today. And if this wasn't a sign that this is how he feels, like he's calling you a no, I just thought like, that's mean. My feelings would have been hurt if like the person I loved was like, none of your business, nosy bastard. I'd be like, well, I can be a little sensitive. Like, anyway, so although we know they're not together anymore, I don't know what the catalyst is for her to like take off her ring next week and be like, this is in the trash. Like, I don't know what it is, what tips her off, what sets her off, but I can't wait to see. So we'll leave them there for now, and we'll move on to our next couple. Brittany and Ray. I mean, same story here. I mean, pretty much just a new day. You know, Brittany and Ray are planning a get together at her house to invite Ray's more extended family over so they can visit with him, and Brittany can meet them and they can meet Brittany. So the family comes over, and you know, they're much like his father and stepmother and grandmother, lovely people, supportive, devoted to him. You know, he has a nice, respectable family, you know? And so they all meet each other. They compliment Brittany on her home and how beautiful it is. And where's your family? When do we get to meet them? And Brittany, the same old story, you know, oh, we don't want to overwhelm Ray. You know, we just want to make this about his family today, like soon enough. And okay, well, what do they, I mean, have they, you know, so they haven't met him yet? No, they haven't met him yet. And they're just like, okay, well, you know, we would like to meet them sometime. Yeah, you know, next time, you know. So Ray goes outside to like visit with his dad, because you know he's got like cousins, aunties there, and he goes outside with like his dad and I think maybe a cousin or a younger brother, I'm not sure. And the dad basically is just like, what's the deal here? You know, why is she hiding you? Why is she hiding us? Like, we are a good family, like nothing to be ashamed about here. You know, why can't you meet her family? I know she doesn't want them to judge you, but she's not even letting them get to know you. Let you show them who you really are, and then they can make their judgment. But she's not even giving you an opportunity to do that. It's sort of disrespectful. I can't tell if she's hiding you, if she's ashamed of you, but you know, son, it ain't good. And it kind of finally, I think, you know, hearing it from his dad, Ray agrees. And I think kind of like the dad kind of just like gave him that sort of like, I don't know, that sort of push he needed to kind of push Brittany to like stop with the bullshit. Like, either we're gonna meet them or we're not. So meanwhile, inside, Brittany's having a conversation with, I think, like one of Ray's aunts, and she's telling him, you know, getting to know you, his extended family, I'm realizing like our families are really alike, and they seem to be like upper middle class, you know, professionals, like I said, supportive, expecting a lot from each other. You know, somewhere along the line, obviously Ray, you know, got on that like trauma track after his mother was murdered, and you know, some shit happened. But I don't think Ray is inherently any kind of bad person. Like, I get the sense out of like all of the inmates we're seeing on the show, he's probably the one most likely not to go back to jail. I think he seems, to me, watching him on the show, he doesn't seem totally comfortable in front of the camera. He seems kind of quiet, introverted. I think also, I think he still needs to deal with the things that happened in his past with his mom. Like I said, the trauma, because he seems a little broken to me. And I say that with like respect. I just want him to get like the real mental health help that he needs. And I think he has all the potential to be successful. I mean, he has all the support behind him, you can tell. And so Brittany's telling the aunt, like, our families aren't so different. Like, I don't know if Brittany was expecting that he was gonna have like some crackhead mom, some pimp dad, like living like who knows where. Like, no, like so I don't know why she doesn't sort of like explain this to her family, give them some background, on what's really going on. But the aunt's like, yeah, we're all loving people here. We're all respectable. Like, just, yeah, maybe next time we would really love to meet your family. So they leave, they're cleaning up and they have this conversation, and Ray's kind of had enough. Like I said, that conversation with his dad has sort of lit the fire in him to like, let's get this rolling. And he tells her like, you've met my family. They've known about you. I've never hidden you. You rode with them to come pick me up when you never even met them. You hadn't even met me. And I don't get what the deal is. Why we can't meet your family. Are you ashamed? Are you hiding me? What's going on? And she tells him like, no, it's really not personal. Like you personally, I've just dropped so many bombs on them. Like you were in prison. You have an ankle monitor bracelet. Like, I don't know how they're going to feel about like a strange man with an ankle monitor living with me. Well, when you put it that way, Brittany, yeah, it doesn't sound so good, but perhaps you are a grown-ass woman living in your own home. Your parents are going to have to trust that they raised you to make good judgments. And it seems like, you have, by what we see of Ray, he isn't a bad person. So he tells her, you know what? If you're serious about me the way I'm serious about you, you're going to get on the phone right now and you are going to set up a meeting for all of us. You're going to let them know, or else this is done. Like, I'm done with, because it's games. It's like, it's games. Because she just wants him to trust her, like, trust my timing. Trust that I know what's best. And she could only take that so far. And now, he's kind of, I don't want to say backing her into a corner, but kind of, just kind of like, hey, what's it gonna be? So she says, okay, so for you to take me seriously and to know that I'm serious, like I have to call them right now. And he says, yeah, right now, like right now. So she's okay, fine. So she knows her mom does not want to meet him and will not meet him. She says she has a good relationship with her dad. He can be more understanding. So she's gonna call him and reach out to him first. So she does. She gets Dad on the phone. We can hear him on the other line. She just tells him like, hey Dad, how are you? Been thinking about you. He's like, yeah, I'm good. Thinking about you too. What's going on, baby? And she says, I just, I want you to come over because I just want to talk to you about some things that have been going on, update you on some life stuff. And he's like, sure, yeah, I can stop by tomorrow. She does not tell him like in terms of my relationship or, I got to let you know what's going on. She doesn't tell him that Ray's there. She doesn't even tell him that Ray's out. She doesn't tell him. It's just like, come over, Dad. Come over so I can blindside you, and what are you gonna do, like, once you're here and Ray's standing in front of you with all these cameras, but not act a total fool. It's like, it's a setup for the dad. Not really fair, but the dad says, okay, sure, I'll be there. That seems to be good enough for Ray for now, so I suppose next week we're going to see Ray and Dad meet. I don't think it's really fair for Brittany to do it this way, but it's her life. She knows her dad, obviously, better than I do, but I just wouldn't appreciate being sort of blindsided like that if I was a parent. Like, knowing, the dad is open, like when she first told the family, the dad was open, like he doesn't think inmates are necessarily bad people or can't be rehabilitated and redeemed, but we'll see. Anyway, so we'll leave them there and let's move on to our next couple. Stan and Lisa. Let me say first off, I think Lisa looks better with the flat ironed hair and not like the crinkled, mermaid. I always hate to say mermaid because, it's giving mermaid sort of a bad name, but when it's straightened, it seems to soften her a little bit. But this up here, those extension roots, but you're better off leaving it straight. And like, you know, maybe put like a headband over that. Maybe we could try that, Lisa. Anyway, it's the next day after their dungeon escapades the night before. Stan is making Lisa a breakfast, a struggle breakfast, as I call it. You know, some toast and juice is about as much as he can do. He takes it up to her. She's waking up. She's all tuckered out. She's tired, but she appreciates the gesture of the breakfast in bed. You know, he asks her how she's feeling. She says tired. She asks him how his ass is feeling. There's many ways, but I'm not gonna count the ways. I don't want to know, but you know, because what people do behind closed doors is their business. But Lisa, why are you making it our business? I can't even repeat what she says about the prostate. I don't even want to say, it's too, I don't, Lisa, you nasty girl. But like I said, I'm not judging. It's just, okay, the things we do for a car, I guess. So speaking of a car, she asks them, what are we going to do today? He says, oh, I don't really know. She says, how about we go look for a car? And he says, but you know, what about getting you a license first? Oh no, that can be taken care of like in a minute. Like we need to go look at cars. And so then he tries to throw at her, well, what about the money for insurance and the tags and, you know, the taxes? And she looks at him like, what about it? Like, you're paying for it. I don't got no job. Like, what kind of question is that? He wants more assurance from her, insurance from her, that, you know, he doesn't want to just like buy her a car and have her take off, because what we learned is that's happened before. He dated a girl in the past that he bought a car for, and as soon as like she got the keys, she took off, you know? So he wants more of a commitment. She can't really give a real commitment because number one, technically, she doesn't even know if she's really divorced from the two men she married. She could be like a polygamist for all she knows. And also, like in the grander scheme of life, there are no guarantees when it comes to love. Like assuming this was a real love relationship, okay? There's no guarantee that it's gonna work out. I mean, you wanna hope for the best, but we say shit happens. And that's the risk you take when you fall in love. You can get your heart broken, or it can be happily ever after. You don't, even a marriage, because he's even kind of throwing out like marriage, you know, we're gonna get married now. Like even that is no guarantee that it's gonna work out. I mean, I guess it can, you know, provide some legalities as far as like splitting up assets and getting that car back. But like I said, she can't even entertain that possibility because she's still possibly legally married to two other men. Anyway, he agrees to at least go looking for cars. So they get down to the car lot and she is determined to get a car because he promised her one when she was in prison, and she is going to make sure keeps his word on all those promises, especially considering the last couple days they've had, the shit he has put her through. Damn it, she deserves it. So they meet the car salesman who mistakes Stan for her dad. He's like, are you dad? And he's like, no, I'm boyfriend. The car salesman's like, oh, my bad. All right, cool. You know, what are you looking for? And, you know, Lisa, of course, has her eye on all like the sporty sports cars, but instead Stan takes her for a test drive in some kind of like sport utility 4Runner type of Blazer. I don't know. She likes it. It's nice enough for her. So the car salesman asks how they like it. She says she likes it, but they need to run some numbers. You know, the car salesman asks, well, how much were you thinking of putting down? Stan says about $3,200. In Stan's mind, he's just going to put a down payment on the car. And, you know, in his perfect world, the car will be in Lisa's name and she will make all the payments. I don't know where he's getting that from. She doesn't have a job. And, you know, she's telling the car salesman like all the business, like, well, I don't have a job right now, but I'm gonna get a job, but he's gonna help me. And, you know, I mean, just all the business. And she also shares that the first time she went to jail for 5 years was because she went to go test drive a car. She drove it off the lot and never came back. So I don't think we can put this in her name, Stan, not with that kind of history. Anyway, so they're kind of like trying to talk and work it out. And Stan again looks at her like, so if we do this, does this mean we're gonna take the next step for marriage? And she kind of just laughs it off like, I don't know, you know. Meanwhile, she's looking at her phone. She's getting text messages from somebody we don't know who, asking her like where she is, and she's responding, I'm out looking for a car. Okay, you know, the person's writing back, we'll get it, girl, and with like money bags. And she says, you know, there's a lot about her that Stan is not aware of. He doesn't know everything yet, and maybe doesn't need to know everything. Is this where the full scam is coming out now? I'm worried for Stan. I'm worried because she looks like she could hurt him. She looks like she could hurt him. Anyway, that's where we leave them. I don't know if they're gonna get the car, but I think, you know, Lisa and whoever she's in cahoots with is like, you know, full scam mode plan in effect. So let's move on to our last couple. Deontay and Nicole and Zach and Tia and everybody else she's being with. So it's the next day, and Deontay is telling us that Nicole has shattered his heart into a million pieces. He never saw this coming. He didn't think she would ever do anything like this. You know, he knows it was Zach. He recognizes him from her IG. He knows that's her ex-boyfriend. He just didn't know that they were still communicating. But apparently they are, you know. But he also says that, you know, he didn't see them do anything. He doesn't know if they did anything, so he can't accuse her of anything. And I'm wondering, is this his way of like letting her off the hook so he doesn't feel bad for taking her back? Like, Deontay, what do you think they did when they drove off in the middle of the night? Do you think they went to the library to read books, go to the park to play patty cake? Like, what do you think happened? Like, you don't have to have seen it to know. Anyway, he goes to the gym so he can meet up with his friend Derek, good old Derek, the true homeboy who tells it like it is. We all love him. So he gets in there. Derek's like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Deontay tells him, oh, I've had better days. Why? What's going on? And Deontay just like at a loss for words. Like, I don't even know how to say it. Like, I don't know where to start. And Derek just tells him, like, say it, spit it out. Deontay gives him the story. Okay, well, Nicole came over. She met my mom. I went to drop her off, but I kind of hung out around the block because I just had this feeling. And somebody came and picked her up, this guy. And Derek's looking at him, telling him, like, not some guy. Like, what? Are you serious? Like, what happened? Like, did she leave with you? No, they took off. And Derek's asking, like, have you heard from her? Did she call you? No, I haven't heard from her. And so Derek is pretty much telling him, okay, so then this is it. This is done, right? Like, now you see her for who she really is. And it's a wrap. And Deontay, no, it's not a wrap. No, because he can't help who he falls in love with. Like, he doesn't know that they did anything. Like, and Derek's just shaking his head. He's like, there's no getting through to Deontay. And Derek tells, you know, the camera, like, you know, basically we all know who she is. I know, he knows, mama knows. Basically, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, need I say more? But there's no getting through to Deontay. Who should call, though, right at that moment? Nicole. Very blasé. Just like, hi, Deontay, like, we need to talk. And he's telling her, yeah, we need to talk. Okay, so when can we, like, get together? Because we have a lot we need to go through. And he says, okay, well, I'm going to pick you up tonight. No, I can't meet tonight. Tonight's not good. And he says, okay, how about tomorrow? Let's do it tomorrow. Okay, fine, tomorrow. And if I were Deontay, I would have told Nicole, no, I'm sorry, we're meeting tonight. What is more important than us having a discussion about what happened last night? It's got to be tonight. Otherwise, who are you seeing? What else do you have going on? Who? We gonna go see Zach again? But no, I mean, whatever, you know. Derek sees this conversation interaction once Deontay hangs up, and Derek asks him, like, are you serious? Like, you mean you're not done with her? Like, F her. And Deontay tells him, like, you know, I have to at least hear her out. Like, you know, I believe in second chances. I just don't believe in third and fourth. Okay, Deontay, whatever. You know, we cut to Nicole. You know, she hangs up the phone and says, you know, she can't meet with Deontay tonight. She has other plans. And if Deontay only knew what they were, he would, like, kill her, you know. She's also going on about how she never wants to go back to prison because she just, like, you know, she's the kind of girl that has to have her nails done and her hair did. And she's just so bougie as she's pouring, like, dish soap detergent into her bath to create like a bubble bath, like green Palmolive dish soap. Like, Dawn, okay, real bougie. Anyway, she gets all dolled up, you know, all in her red dress to meet with Tia, who she says, you know, is the woman she really fell in love with in prison. Tia's the one that, wait for it, got away. And Tia lives in North Carolina, but she's here to visit her. And, you know, before Nicole can really settle down with Deontay, she's sort of got to explore all these other, you know, loose-ended relationships, see how she really feels. You know, yes, she did smash Zach the night before, but apparently, you know, it was very lackluster. You know, after 4 years being pent up in prison, like, it just did not do it for her. Thank you for sharing. So now she's got to meet with Tia, you know, and okay, so she takes a little Uber down to the little restaurant to meet up with Tia, Prison Bay, and Tia's there waiting for her. What I will say about Tia and Nicole is there is seemingly chemistry between them in a way that I did not see between Nicole and Deontay. Like, I didn't see her interaction with Zach, so I can't really say. But, you know, when we see Tia and Nicole, they're giggling, they're flirting. You see it. Like, she's very comfortable around her, no hesitation. You know, they're reminiscing about the old prison days when they used to get in fights, pull each other's hair and spit on each other. Yeah, just the good old days. Nicole also mentions, you know, because I think Tia asked, does your mom know where you're at and who you're with? And she says, yes, I told my mom. She wasn't really happy. Apparently, Nicole's mom is not a fan of Tia's because she just says Tia's a lot like her, Nicole, just kind of wild, crazy, you know, just unpredictable. And so they, you know, they have a little dinner, they have little drinks, and now, you know, Nicole wants to go back to Tia's room where she's staying. Okay, so, you know, they get back to the room and things get hot and heavy, you know. I guess Nicole is fully over her, you know, anxiety about being touched. I think Tia must know what her favorite color is too. And let's not forget, just the night before, she smashed Zach. Now, I'm not trying to slut shame Nicole. You can do whatever you want with your body. I'm merely pointing out here that this whole season, she went on and on and on about how she just couldn't be touched. She couldn't get close to anybody. She had anxiety. She was always just stressed out about it. But, you know, now in these past few days, just thoughting and bopping without a care in the world. Deontay, like, I mean, no second chances. Like, no. So, you know, she shuts the door. That's that. We can all assume what's going on. And I mean, again, not to spoil it, but I mean, we know Deontay and Nicole aren't together anymore, right? Like, we know. I mean, that's, if I didn't already mention it, that's what sucks about this show, is that it's just, you know, there's no surprises really. I mean, and also, next week is the season finale. Like, it's already here. That's it? What did we get, like 6 episodes? I mean, it was a fun show. So, but now that it's over, I mean, and that's it for Deontay and Nicole. So what I'm trying to get at is, now that it's over, I'm going to need another show, because I also review You, Me, and My Ex, and that's about to wrap up too. I don't know if this is the season finale, this next episode, but it can't be but a few more. So I need some new shows on my roster. I know that this show is followed by another one, because this is Love After Lockup, then it's Life After Lockup, but the one that's going to start has a bunch of couples that have already been on that I'm not familiar with, and I can't go back and watch like seasons of people. Like, I don't have time for that. I mean, if this was like a Life After Lockup with just these couples who aren't even together anymore, most of them, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. So if any of you have suggestions on other shows, please leave it in the comments below, because I'm gonna have nothing very soon. And yeah, so that's it. Rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Any suggestions for new shows? Like I said, I just like to keep it light and funny, nothing too serious. This is all in good fun. You know, these are my cartoons. I will see you all next time. Have a good night. Bye.